Well, hi, everybody. This is Saad. Back in 2009, I had published a paper in the Journal of Social Psychology with my co-author Tripat Gill, who used to be my former doctoral student. The title of the paper was Self-Ratings of Physical Attractiveness in a Competitive Context When Males Are More Sensitive to Self-Perceptions Than Females. And I'll put the link to the paper in the description of this clip. And in the paper, what we were basically looking at is how self perceptions of one's physical ratings might affect how they play in a behavioral economic game. Specifically, some of you may have heard of the ultimatum game. The ultimatum game is where you bring in two people to the lab, persons A and B. You give, let's say, person A $10 and you tell them you can offer to split this money with person B in any way that you want. Person B has two choices. They can either accept your split, or if they reject it, you both get nothing. So, what do you want to do as a split? So, for example, if person A says, I'll keep six and I'll give four to person B, if person B accepts it, then you give them their respective splits. If person B says, no, I don't want that, then they both get nothing. There's no opportunity to negotiate. And so we were interested in looking at how the physical attractiveness of the two players, both their objective physical attractiveness as rated by a third person, and their self perceptions of their physical attractiveness might affect how they play in this game. So so I've always been interested in this idea of how do people, how uh, calibrated are people about their self perception, in this case, their self perception of physical attractiveness. So I was very interested when I saw a paper that just came out. So let me just read it for you here. The paper is titled "Post COVID-19 Still Wear a Face Mask?" Question mark. Self-perceived facial attractiveness reduces mask wearing intention. It's published in the Frontiers of Psychology in in the section of Personality and Social Psychology. It just came out, what, 10 days ago. I'll also put a link to this one. And basically, what they found across three studies is that people who have a higher uh, perception of their physical attractiveness were less likely to have the intention of wearing a mask, uh, which of course intuitively makes sense in that, if I think that I am gorgeous, then having something that blocks that attractive cue is something that I'm going to be more reticent to do. So, in the incredibly large number of studies that have been done so far on COVID from all sorts of perspective, I thought that this was a clever one because it links, something that we've had to deal with in terms of the pandemic. Should we wear masks? How long should we wear masks? Who should wear masks? Are masks effective or not? I recently, as you know, had Paul Offit on my show, who is a virologist. It was the second time he was on, and he was arguing that, oh, masks are effective, which of course caused a lot of people who watched our chat to be unhappy. They thought that I should have maybe uh, challenged him a bit more forcefully. But in any case, this is a really cool paper because it demonstrates that, for purposes of possibly vanity, people are more reticent or more likely to be willing to cover their faces in this case in the context of a pandemic. So there you have it. Of course, there's also an evolutionary angle, the beauty in general, facial symmetry in particular, facial beauty are things that evolutionary psychologists have researched and talked about for a long time. So, in any case, this is one of those cool studies that I think is receiving a lot of attention because it's at the intersection of many disciplines: COVID, pandemic, beauty, facial symmetry, evolutionary psychology, and so on. Hope you're having a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Cheers.